Hi, this is Debbie Boyer, and in this video segment, we're going to talk about sharing files and folders within Google Drive. Being able to share files and folders just helps us be able to collaborate and communicate, and both of us could work on it at the same time and we could create something together. So it's a great tool within Google Drive. When we're looking at this account, you can see that I'm logged in as a Canyon student. And you can see that I have a few files and folders here in my drive. So when I click on my drive, this is what I see. If someone were to share a file with me, I would look under Shared with Me to be able to see files that maybe my teacher shared with me or one of my classmates or anyone that I want to collaborate with. So my drive or my files, Shared with Me will find a list of files that someone has shared with me. When we get ready to share a file with someone, we're going to look down the page, and you can see that we have whales and fish, and it's a Google Doc, and I know that because it's a blue icon with those white little lines on it, which signifies a Google Doc. I might get ready to share that file, and there's several ways that I can do that, but one is to click in the square right in front of the file, and you'll notice when I do that, I now have some new menu items at the top. One of which is a little person with a plus sign, and I can share that file just right here from my Google Drive screen. Another way is I might want to go into the file and make a few edits and get it updated and add some information to it before I share it. And then when I get ready to share, I can go to File and Share. So that's one way. Or if I look over in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see that there's a share icon there, a bright blue share icon, and I'm going to click on that and open up the share window. Now it shows me that as the student, I own this file, but it also gives me some ways to share it out. One is to share this link, and I could right-click and copy that link. But I can just go in and change the rights to anyone that has that link. Right now it's private, and I'm the only one that can access it through that link. So I'm going to change that, and I might choose to make my link public on the web, and it means that anyone doesn't require a login. Anybody who ran across it would be able to see it. And if we're okay with that, that's great, but one of the things we want to be sure and look at too is who has access to that link when they do find it. Can they just view it, read what's on the page? Can they comment on it, or can they edit it? So we want to be sure and set the rights to each person that we share with. So we can also say just anyone that has the link can view it, comment on it, or edit it. We can change there. Anyone within Canyon ISD can just find it and access it, or people at Canyon ISD that I share the link with. Or I can go ahead and choose specific people that I will share the link with. So let's go ahead and cancel this. We're back at the window, and let's invite someone to share the link with us, or the file with us. And I'm going to share it with Debbie Boyer. Let's say she's my teacher. I'm a student. Debbie's the teacher. And I'm going to go over and say that Mrs. Boyer can edit the file, can comment on the file, or can view the file. And I'm going to let my teacher edit this file with me. I'm going to notify her by email message. That's considered a nice etiquette online, is to send an email with the shared file. And I could add a message if I want and say, Mrs. Boyer, here's the file that we are going to collaborate on. I could send a copy to myself, or I could paste the item right into the email. One thing you're going to want to be very careful about is down at the bottom. It's kind of small. I wish it were larger and more prevalent so people could see it. But it says editors will be allowed to add other people and change the permissions so that they can edit. So I don't really want that to happen in this case. I want to change that and say only the owner, which is me, the student, can change the permissions. So you'll want to be sure and do that so that other editors like Debbie can't share it out with multiple people. So I'll change that. So right now I'm adding Debbie. I'm sending her an email. I didn't put a message in the email, and I changed the permissions just to me, and I'm going to go ahead and send that file. So Debbie will get an email, And I can see now that it has added her to the list of people who can have access to the file. I can go back in at any time and edit what access rights she has. And then when I'm finished, I'm going to click on Done. Now Debbie would go over and look in her Google Drive under Shared with Me, and she's going to find the file that the student, Kenan student, has shared. Once Debbie accesses the file, do you notice there's now a pink D at the top? And when I scroll across that, I can see Debbie's name. I can also see where Debbie has the cursor on her computer. And it doesn't matter where Debbie's sitting. She could be in the same room with me, or she could be in a different town or country. It doesn't matter. But you can see that the pink cursor also tells me that it's Debbie who's in the file right this minute and is sharing it with me. Let's look as the student down at the bottom of the screen, and you can see that Debbie's cursor, she's moved down to the bottom of the screen, and she's typing in some text. And I'm seeing this live as the student. And as she's typing, I can be typing. We can both be going back and forth and type at the same time and work on this document together. If we were taking notes or creating you can do the same thing in spreadsheets. You can do the same thing in presentation. You can share pictures that you upload. You can do lots of different sharing with different files. So when we're finished with this, Debbie's going to go ahead and close the document out, and you're going to see that the pink D has now gone away, and I know she's left that document. She still has access to it under Shared with Me, but she's no longer in the document with me. I can keep working. When Debbie comes back in, she'll be able to see any changes that I've made, and we can keep that going as long as we need to till we finish the project. When I get ready to close the file out, I'm going to be real careful. The red X in the top right-hand corner closes Chrome, and I just want to close the document that I'm working in, so I'm going to close the tab. Now I can see that it is a shared file, because besides Whales and Fish, it now says shared, so that's going to remind me that I've shared that with Mrs. Boyer. When I get ready to share a folder, it's the same thing. I can click in front of the folder. I can go to the plus sign, and I'm going to come in and share this folder with Mrs. Boyer. And I'm going to give her editing rights, and I'm going to go ahead and send that. And you'll notice now that the orange folder has a little person, a little symbol for a person, and out beside the folder it says shared. Now something to be aware of is that when you share a folder, anything inside the folder receives the same sharing rights. So when I click on science, now my teacher, Mrs. Boyer, has the access to this file as well. I didn't go in and share that specific file with her, but because I shared the folder with her, anything in the folder is also shared for her to see. So sharing is a great way to be able to collaborate and communicate. And remember, if someone shares something with you, you'll find that under Shared with Me. And then anything that is yours to own is in My Drive. Now, one word of warning. If someone were to share a file with me, and this is from a teacher, she has shared wearable technology with me, I have access to that as long as that person leaves those rights with me. If at any time the person who owns the wearable technology file deletes it, it'll be deleted from my shared area as well. If there's something I really want to keep it, and want to be sure to make a copy of it and move it to my drive. So I can make a copy by right-clicking and make a copy. And when I do, you're going to see that the wearable technology is still here that's shared with me. But now when I come back to my drive and I update the screen, you're going to see that the copy of wearable technology is now in my drive, and no changes will be made by the person who shared it with me, but I'll be able to at least have a copy. So I hope this has been helpful. Hope you'll consider collaborating with others by sharing documents and folders, and can't wait to see what you do.